Hey, kings and queens, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Ooh, y'all, it's late. It's about 11 p.m. I'm done with my day. I'm so tired, but I could not sleep. I could not sleep, and I figured it's because there's something that I want to share with y'all today. I feel like I really want to share before I go to sleep. So, okay. Yes, let's take a second to acknowledge that changes have been made. Y'all notice anything different? I know we're trying a new hairstyle. Okay, we're going a little short just for a little bit, as we transition. Okay, stay tuned for the next look. Y'all will notice very quickly, like I switch up my hairstyle a lot. But yeah, notice anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I got my braces off. Finally. I want to be loud, but it's so late, so I won't. But guys, it's been 2 years, 2 months, and yeah, 2 years and 2 months. It's wild. It feels like the longest 2 years of my life, and it hasn't been, but it feels like it. Because why? Because I have braces. Everything changed, and now everything is back to normal. And I'm like, what is normal? Like, I'm used to having wires in my mouth. I even forgot what it was like to be able to do this. And run my teeth across my mouth, and it's just crazy to me. And it's just making me think, like, something that I feel like I really wanted to share today related to my braces. Now that they're finally off, like, I'm seeing things clearer, and like God is showing me how this is related to the things that he does in our lives, right? And so I've wanted braces for super long. Like, my mom could tell you, I've been asking her since I was like 12, like, can I have braces? And it never happened until I hit college, right? So I begged my mom. Eventually, finally, I was able to get them. But when I tell you, I just wanted them so bad that I didn't count the cost. I didn't think about what was really the process and what it was gonna cost me. I didn't do research. I did not, like, none of that. I was just like, I want them. I want my teeth to be aligned. When I tell you, this was so painful, like, so painful, y'all. Like, I didn't think about the pain that I was gonna have to go through in order for the alignment to take place, right? I remember when I first got them, I was in college. I was living with my, my homegirls, and I remember going home one day, and I was telling my roommate, I was like, oh my goodness, my teeth hurt so bad. I don't understand what's happening. She's like, your bones are moving. Like, what did you expect? And I was like, I didn't expect. I did expect it. Now this is painful, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to keep taking medicine. Like, what do I do? And she's just like, it's just gonna have to hurt. Like, your bones are moving from the position that they know, and you're forcing them to have to take place for better alignment. And so it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And I was like, wow. Lately, when I think about it, I'm like, wow, that's life. That's life. And so, like I said, I didn't realize, I didn't expect, I didn't know what it was going to be like. I didn't think about how much it was going to cost financially. Shout out to my mama. Love you. But pain, I didn't think about how painful it's going to be, how uncomfortable it's going to be, how uncomfortable I felt walking into certain rooms, feeling like I looked 12 years old. I didn't think about how I was going to have to change certain things that I ate, and take out some things from my diet because I couldn't afford to break the brackets, because if you break the brackets, your teachers aren't going to align how they need to align. And so I didn't think about it. I really didn't, you guys. And it was something that I really had to get used to. And over time, I got used to it. But when I say it hurt the most, and people who have braces can attest to this, is when, like, I would go through time having them. And then when it came time for my tightenings, when I had to go in every couple of months to get my wires tightened so that there would be more force, so that the alignment would happen. But I don't know the mechanics behind it, but I know it was so that, like the doctor, the ortho, was making it so that they would form, or they would align how he wanted them to in order for everything to fit correctly. Oh, I forgot, I even had to get 2 teeth pulled out. So I had 2 teeth out for like many, many months before the others grew in and like the others like took form. Like it was crazy. I really didn't think about it, and it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot. And one thing I can say is that when I think back to it now, I'm thinking like, wow, like I say like a lot. I noticed that in my last video. Wow. Okay, so one thing I notice is, one thing I think about now is how it's so related to how God moves in our lives. It's so related. And I've talked about this to a few people lately as I've been thinking about my braces coming off. And I think about how it's so related to how God aligns us, right? When we ask God to change certain things in our life, or when we give him room, even if we don't specifically ask for a certain thing to be changed or aligned, when we give him room to have his way and we say, Lord, have your way, alignment is going to take place. And he's going to have to remove some things, right? I had to get teeth pulled. I had to get teeth pulled. He's going to have to remove some things from our lives. That's one. Two, he's going to need to create some structure, right? Those are the wires that had to be put in the rubber bands and all of that in order for my teeth to form how they were supposed to. He had to put some structure in place. I had to remove some things from my diet in the same way. Like there's things that God is going to have to remove from your life. There are lifestyles, habits, thoughts, perspectives that have to change in order for alignment to work in our lives. And it's going to cost you. It's going to be uncomfortable. And then there was pain. It was painful. There's going to be things that when alignment is taking place in your life, it's going to feel painful. But let me tell you, it works and it is worth it. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Like I said, the times where I felt it the most is when I had to go in to get my wires tightened. And so the rest of the time, you get used to it and it didn't really quite feel like it was working. And I think similarly, like when things are good and things are dandy, you know, we're going about our lives, it doesn't feel sometimes like God is working. And it's not until we have those moments of like, oh, like that's uncomfortable. Ooh, that hurts, right? Like when things start to maybe go wrong, or you're put in an uncomfortable position, or you experience things that are painful and that that can feel discouraging, or can feel like, wow, God, like what are you doing? Like why does my heart hurt like this, you know? And I think in the same way, like we have to realize that's all part of the process. Like whether we feel it or not, it's working. Whether I realize it or not, those wires sitting in my mouth for 2 years, like they made a difference. And it didn't always look like it. But over time, when I look at how it started and where I look at how they are now, I'm just so grateful, because I'm like, okay, yeah, it was painful. Yeah, it was uncomfortable. Yeah, I didn't count the costs of some of the things that I had to experience through this process, but it worked. It worked and it's worth it. And I'm so grateful to my ortho. And in the same way in life, like there's things that God is doing in my life, and I know that he's doing in your life, or getting ready to do in your life, that is going to feel uncomfortable, that is going to feel painful, that is going to cost you certain things, certain lifestyles, certain relationships, certain dreams, certain habits, and it's gonna suck sometimes. It really is gonna suck, but guess what? It's working. He's working, and it's worth it. It's worth you giving him that trust and giving him that control. When the doctor said, I need you to go get your teeth pulled, it sucked, but I did it because I trusted that he knew what he was doing. In the same way, I encourage you to trust what God is doing. When he says it's gonna feel painful, but do this, trust him, because there's a reason. If I had not gotten those teeth pulled, the way that things would have been working in my mouth, I would have had to, he said, if I don't get those pulled later on, if I didn't get those 2 pulled later on, I may have had to get 4 wisdom teeth pulled. And I was like, let me just take the least amount of pain right now. And I didn't want to do it, but I said, okay, you know what you're doing, so I trust you. In the same way, tell God, I know what you're doing, and it hurts and it's painful, and I don't really want to do that, but I trust you, and so I'm listening, and so I will move. I will be obedient, because I understand that you are aligning me. I understand that you are aligning my life. You are aligning my mindset. You are aligning my relationships. You are aligning my opportunities for my future to come together, and I have to go through this uncomfortable uncomfortable and painful process, God, but I trust you. And so that's what I'm continuing to say in this season. God, I trust you, for you are aligning my life. And I encourage you, whoever you are, whatever you may be experiencing in this time, like though it hurts, though you may not have expected it, though you may see what it's costing you now and you want to give up, keep it going. Trust him. Understand that he knows that he has the blueprint. He had the blueprint from the beginning, and he knew what it was going to cost even when you weren't thinking about it. He knew the steps that you were going to have to take even when you had to just sit and listen. If you are not willing to trust him, if you are not willing to endure the uncomfortability, the pain, the cost, the price that you have to pay, stop asking him to align you. Stop saying, God, have your way, because if you do not fully let him take control, you're gonna end up with jacked up teeth. You're gonna end up with jacked up teeth. Okay, that's a metaphor. You know what that means in your life. You're gonna end up with toxic relationships. You're gonna end up in a dead-end job. You're gonna end up somewhere that is far away from your destiny and where you're supposed to be headed in this life. Stop praying, God, have your way, if you are not ready to trust him, if you are not ready to surrender, and if you are not ready to be obedient to what he's gonna tell you to do, whether it feels good or not. Okay, but just know that everything that he does, and every way that he works is for your good, and it is for his glory. So trust him. Trust him in this time of alignment. Trust him in this time, because the results will be more than you ever imagined. Okay? I love you all so much. Be blessed. Mwah.